Okay, hold on. I know exactly what you're thinking. What am I doing with my hands? And secondly, I thought that Billie Eilish shaded you. And you know what? I did too. And I wasn't actually going to make this video because I don't know. I've kind of, since the incident, okay, I've just been kind of just a little bit upset. Okay, just a little bit upset. But she dropped this new song called Bury a Friend. How does English work? I don't know. And I've been getting lots and lots of requests for it. And it came out almost 2 weeks ago now. It came out a week ago. Okay? It came out a week ago. And usually I'm like right on top of these things. And I was like, I don't know if I should. But along with the DMs came somebody sending me this screenshot. Ding! So apparently Billie Eilish doesn't know who I am, which normally would upset me. But in this instance, that's fine. I think that's okay. Clearly, when Billie made this snap, that caused a lot of her fans to come onto my social medias for a few days and say really mean things. Which you would think I would be used to at this point. But I don't think that you ever get used to someone saying mean things to you. Like, I don't think that ever happens. I just don't. I think it just gets a little bit less painful. But clearly, she wasn't talking about me. I'm pretty sure that she was talking about Mr. Snidely, the other vocal coach. And look, Mr. Snidely is an asshole, okay? Mr. Snidely tells people that they can only sing like this. Oh, oh, with their lips in this pursed position. The reason why I didn't know if it was a good idea for me to make this video was partly because I didn't know if she wanted me to make the video, and partly because I was kind of upset. But I've had a lot of people request for me to check this out, and I really want to check it out. So let's just jump into this. And one thing really quick, I've heard that this is an out there music video, a very creative music video. When I'm watching movies, when I'm watching a horror movie or something that freaks me out, I like to make jokes. So if I crack a joke or two, I'm not cracking it at Billie's expense. I'm cracking it because it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable and I want to have something to say, okay? I know that some people get mad. Okay, anyway, this has been long enough. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter. Let's just go. All right, Mr. Snidely, you're an asshole. Is that her? Yo, get this ad out of here. No, that's not her. Billie. Yo, what you doing under there?
What do you want from me? Why don't you run from me?
Okay, so people have told me that this is very different from anything else that she's ever done. And I love when artists do that, by the way. Sometimes people can get upset when artists do new things, but I happen to actually really like it. Anyway.
What are you wondering? What do you know? Why aren't you scared of me? Why do you care for me?
And so what she has on her voice right now, by the way, some people think that any effect on the voice that makes it sound robotic is auto-tune. What that effect is I think it's called a vocoder, and it makes you sound like a robot.
When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
Come here.
And it sounds like, by the way, part of what makes that particular line sound creepy, we're going to keep going with the video, is that she is singing in unison with somebody. So they're singing the same notes, but just an octave apart. So one person's singing, the other person's singing, So the same note, but they're just an octave apart.
Don't you run from me? What are you wondering? What do you know?
So there's no harmonies. There's nothing to give it a sense of like purpose, if that makes sense. Harmonies make it sound like it has purpose. It's just two lines moving in unison together, and that can sound kind of creepy. In fact, that's what old church music used to sound like. And when you listen to that kind of stuff today, it can sound a little bit eerie.
Why aren't you scared of me? Why do you care for me? When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
Come here.
Say it, spit it out. What is it exactly? Your pain is the amount cleaning you out. Am I satisfactory? Today I'm thinking about the things that are deadly.
So vocally, one thing that she's doing different that is kind of interesting is usually when I listen to her voice, she has a lot of breath behind it, and she is fairly quiet in these vocals here, but she's gotten rid of the breath, which I think is a very interesting choice, especially for this song, because it gives it a little bit more of a in your face Like, Billie doesn't really get too much in your face with her vocals, but to the extent that she can get in your face, that's kind of what she's doing here.
Down like I wanna jump, like I wanna end me. Step on the glass, staple your tongue. Bury a friend, try to wake up.
And now it's getting breathy.
Cannibal class, killing the sun. Bury a friend, I wanna end me.
Ooh. Yo, she's about to turn into the Hulk.
I wanna end me.
Yo, this is dark.
What do you want from me? Why don't you run from me? What are you wondering? What do you know? Keep you in the dark. What had you expected? Me to make you my
Something I like about this song so far, it doesn't really give you a break. There's no pauses.
Start and get you connected. I'll meet you in the park.
Which makes me very curious about what she's gonna do in the bridge. The bridge is the section towards the end of a song that separates the two choruses before it ends.
I'll be calm and collected. But we knew right from the start that you'd fall apart, cause I'm too expensive. Your type would be something that shouldn't be said out loud.
That was new. So remember how I just said it doesn't give you any space to breathe? It just did. The silence there is kind of eerie.
Calling security, keeping my head held down.
This is the bridge, I suppose. Here's the bridge.
So much so, cause I can't say no, no, I can't say no. Then my limbs are frozen, my eyes won't close, and I can't say no, I can't say no.
Careful.
It's so spooky.
What do you want from me? Why don't you run from me? What are you wondering? What do you know? Why aren't you scared of me? Why do you care for me? When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
That was cool. So actually, the other thing that is cool about this is like something that I've been noticing with some of her songs more recently is the song structure. I would really have to sit down and analyze the song structure. I know this isn't about vocals, but it's somewhat related because she does a lot of really interesting things. I feel like in some sections, she makes the verses a little bit extra long, or in some sections, she makes the pre-chorus, which is the section that leads up to the chorus, different from the previous pre-chorus, which is very uncommon. And I would be very, very curious to break apart this song structure and to see exactly what it is that makes this song tick. So I did take the time to sit down and analyze the song's general structure, and I'm going to compare it to a traditional or like more generic pop structure to sort of compare and show you all the differences. The average pop song follows this structure. It has a verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus, a bridge, and a chorus. The verse is the part of a song that sort of tells the story. The chorus is the hook or the catchy part, and the bridge is a section of the song that connects the two ending choruses. Billie's song, on the other hand, starts with a chorus, which does actually happen fairly regularly with pop music, but the rest of what she does is what makes it interesting. Then she goes into a verse, then a chorus, then a verse. All of this so far is not out of the ordinary, and this is where it gets more interesting. She goes from a verse to a bridge to a chorus. So the bridge in her song does not serve to connect two choruses, but it serves to connect the verse to the chorus, which is very atypical. Additionally, if you take a look at the lyrics here, her first verse is significantly shorter than her second verse, which is actually pretty interesting. Throw on top of that all of the weird sort of places where she adds pauses in the music and different effects and different sounds. It makes her song sound almost chaotic in a way, which I think is kind of what she's going for. And it gives you sort of like an eerie vibe because it doesn't give you what you expect it to. You expect the verse structure to repeat itself in the second verse, but it doesn't. It sort of changes. It pauses in some places. It's a little bit longer. And then from that verse, you expect a chorus, but in the second verse, you don't get a chorus, you get a bridge, and then you get a chorus. So I think that's all interesting, and that contributes to the eerie feeling that her song gives you when you listen to it, as opposed to just like a feel-good pop song that does exactly what you think it's going to do. And I think that's really cool, and it's a really artistic way of her expressing herself. Now, I wouldn't really call myself much of a songwriter, so I'm sure somebody else could analyze and dissect this in a much more detailed way, but I thought it would be interesting to at least give you my overall impression. But anyway, hopefully you all like this video. If you did like this video, be sure to drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new, of course, and hit that bell notification icon so that you get informed every time I post a new video. And again, check me out on Instagram and Twitter. Peace out, Tristans and Trist fam.